welcome to another edition of After the Whistle. We are back. We took a little break. Gonna take another one. I'm here, Todd's here. Y'all didn't hear from us after that boat fiasco that happened last. Man swinging chairs on people like it's WWE. You got Aquaman jumping off a boat, go to a fight. You know you crazy if you jump off a boat to go to a fight, to swim to a fight.
I felt like he had some built-up aggression he was finally able to get out, especially being in Alabama. Years of aggression he probably was able to finally release.
And then he rock bottomed somebody in wet clothes. That takes a lot of courage. You did all that, your clothes is wet, it's heavy, and you rock bottom a guy that's like 100 pounds heavier than you.
But look who they was fighting. Remember I said years ago, that they don't spark intimidation in people, so you see what happens.
That was like a real life Boondocks episode right there.
Which needs to happen, because like there's no reason why a man should be getting beat up at his place of work just by doing his job.
That's the funny thing. It all could have been avoided. All they had to do was move the boat.
He was just doing his job. It's not like he was like a random guy, part of another party. Right. Even though that still shouldn't have happened like that anyway. But the man was just doing his job. But that's that entitlement when you own a business in that area. And you know how some people in certain regions think. We have people in this region that kind of think similarly to them people, and they got dealt with.
Yeah. All they had to do was move the boat. That's literally it.
And what's the issue with moving your boat? But because they felt like, who are you to ask me to move my boat? It's just a boat. Just move it. Obviously, you're in the way.
You're in the way of another boat that's supposed to be bringing people back to the dock. Like, come on now.
Oh, they were. Oh.
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
I didn't know it was that deep. I thought it was like just another party had a boat trying to get in.
No. There was like one of the like ferries or whatever, river boats that had people that. Whatever, and they were trying to dock them so the people that were on that thing could come off. That's
once again, a lot of people have something called the nerve, and for no reason.
No reason at all. But yeah, that was a wild scene. It actually happened the day I left.
Oh, I thought you was down there when it happened.
I legit the day I left. That's when it happened. Like, thank goodness. I almost got lost out there too. That's another story. We got NFL officially kicked off preseason. Nobody really cares about preseason. It's just like for the guys that need to make the team and all that good stuff. The Pats, 20-9, lost against the Texans, but we did see a nice signing of Malik Cunningham, who I didn't even know who this dude was. I didn't even know they had another quarterback, but Malik Cunningham out of Louisville. He had himself a good outing, running, passing, got himself a touchdown. So vying for that number 2 quarterback, because I think this might be put up a show up year for our boy Mac Jones, because what's going on, year 3? Yeah, year 3. Yeah, this is year 3. You're supposed to. This is the time you take a leap and show that.
You're supposed to take that leap.
Yeah, and year 3 is usually that point where all quarterbacks, start separating themselves and show what they got. So it'll be a big season for Mac.
I mean, hopefully he has the weapons that he can utilize to show his skill set. But one thing about the Pats, I don't get excited about any backup quarterbacks for the Pats, because they barely utilize them. They trade them and shift and move them. So it's like, I never get excited watching the backup produce in the preseason for the Pats. I never do. History's proven.
Well, yeah, that's true. They just got trying to make the team, but yeah, for Jones, it's that wide receiver group that's going to be the biggest key issue for them, because that's been the question mark for the team in training camp. That's been the biggest question mark for the team, is their receiving core.
And another big question mark for Mac Jones, which has been he's played with high-profile wide receivers. So can he make anybody better? Mm-hmm. Can he make any of these wide receivers all-pro guys or productive wide receivers like a Hall of Famer did that played out here?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's the last representation of a quarterback we have.
Yeah. And still, if you're a professional quarterback, you should be able to, with the weapons you got, you should be able to find a way to get them the ball where they're comfortable and stuff, because not everything has to be deep balls.
Bro, A point guard is a quarterback is no different than a point guard.
Yeah.
Point guard makes his teammates better, makes it easier on his teammates. Same thing a quarterback should do.
Yeah. Yeah. So we might see a little bit of the running game a lot coming to start off the season. Heavy dose of the running game before they start to open that offense up. But yeah, there's a lot of questions on this offense coming into this season just because of how the end of the season played last year, because they didn't have a chance to make the playoffs, and they just lost games that they should have not lost to, and they just red zone especially, they didn't score in the red zone. That was the biggest thing with them. They couldn't score in the red zone, which was never a case, because especially they shouldn't have issues last year because they had two good tight ends they could have got the ball to, but yeah.
They had a couple tight ends, and they have like 3-4 running backs.
Yeah, and it was still
so you got to look at the play calling for that, because you have the tools.
Yeah.
So you have to play it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the guys with the headphones.
And this is new offensive coordinator once again too. So we'll see if they catch up to this modern day NFL, because they're still kind of trying to do stuff that's kind of not working no more. It doesn't work. It's not effective. I should say.
You just need logic, man. Because even the modern day football is not logical. Mm-hmm. So they need to be run focused, heavy focus on the run, and just pick your spots with the passing.
Yeah.
And help Jones develop that confidence that when you do need him to pass majority of the game, because some teams are going to make them pass the ball, he'll have that confidence rather than him being shaky all season.
Yeah, yeah. And having a franchise quarterback is hard to find. So, I mean, so far, he's still a question mark if he's going to be the franchise quarterback. Moving on, NBA. Hall of Fame ceremony was over the weekend. We got Wade, Parker, Nowitzki, and Gasol all inducted into the Hall of Fame. As I think, was it Becky Hammond?
Yeah.
Becky Hammond as well. Greg Popovich. This is like an international Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and you're looking at three guys that really changed the game, in Wade, Nowitzki, and Gasol, and just how it's played, especially Dirk, because Dirk, when he came on the scene, it was like, and then he just took off at one point.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Like, what's the criteria? Because I feel like certain guys, they speed up the criteria to get in the Hall of Fame, and other people, they have to wait.
It's like 5 or 6 years after you retire.
So D-Wade got
like
the shortest of it, because I'm like, Powell been out for some time, Dirk's been out for some time, so it seems they were able to enjoy their retirement, and then they get brought back. I feel like there's been people they're retired, but they're still in the limelight. It's like, bro, go fade away for a little bit, and let's appreciate you when you come back for this Hall of Fame speech. I feel like I've been seeing none but D-Wade forever. Since he retired. Like, go hide somewhere, bro.
Yeah, he's always at the games and all that.
No, and that's not a problem, but he's doing analysis, he's doing everything. It's like fade away.
TV shows.
So when you come to the Hall of Fame, we appreciate you a little more. It just felt like I was just seeing D-Wade do another game or something. Like,
yeah, Dirk, you barely hear from him.
Yeah.
The only time you hear from Dirk is when when the Mavericks are doing something, or pretty much whenever the Mavericks are doing something.
And if you notice the past 5 years or 10 years, like the Hall of Fame, they've been I felt like they've been speeding it up, like speeding some of the plays up, because I feel like we grew up watching some of these guys, or they just retired, and it's like, bro, he just left the locker room. But I'm not knocking it, because they're well deserved and they're gonna get it. But I just felt like they're speeding this up a little bit. Like,
it does seem weird to see some guys you watch get drafted and how they're being inducted. It's just like, yo, did it really go by that fast? Because like, I swear these guys were just all stars.
Like, even AI was retired for some time before they brought him back for his Hall of Fame speech. You know what I mean? It just seems like certain people, they just kind of like, all right, bro, we know your first ballot, throw you in there next year. It's like, nah, like, let everybody else get there. Like, even Pop, like, he's now getting to Hall of Fame.
I know.
Like, now. He could die tomorrow. Hopefully not, but I'm just saying, like, he's had to wait that long. Has how many championships?
For some reason with the coaches, even if they're active, it's still like forever for the coaches.
That's crazy.
It's a little wild, especially when you know that's a guaranteed Hall of Fame coach right there.
Pop's probably one of the few guys that should have been inducted a long time ago, while he was still coaching.
The same thing with college too. It's the same thing with college as far as with the head coaching. It's like they'll have a Hall of Fame resume. They'll still be coaching within it. So like, just put them in already.
And granted, I know a lot of people don't really like the NBA Hall of Fame because they feel like everybody gets in, but no. People who are well-deserving gets in, and we don't just like we don't hold grudges like them baseball weirdos.
Yeah.
Ours don't feel like our personal feelings should deter a man's accolades.
Yeah. I feel like the NBA is the only sport that does it, because even NFL will do that. Because, I mean, there were certain players that should have been first ballot Hall of Famers, and they had to wait years. I mean, like, you look at a guy like Shannon Sharp. He had 3 Super Bowls. Like, at the time he retired, he was probably one of the best tight end ever, and he had to wait a couple times to get inducted.
And they wonder why this basketball sport is such a loving sport, because we don't have that many room for haters.
No.
Them other sports, they got a bunch of them.
Yeah. And they also, with the NBA, they also induct the writers too. So active writers. They're active people that cover the sport. They put them in this.
They show everybody that's involved in the game that you're actually worth something.
Yeah.
Not the NFL don't even show their players they're worth anything.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
So why would they show the media that they care about them?
Yeah. And somebody said,
Just saying.
Speaking of Dwayne Wade, I saw a funny tweet. They said he did a better job hiding his son than Drake did. Oh, died. I was just dying.
I don't like that D Wade had to move out of Florida because of certain laws.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that son.
Oh, no. I'm just saying the whole. Oh, you mean his oldest son?
No. He. Remember when he had a whole side baby before he got married?
Yeah.
So that was that about. But
oh, that one.
Yeah. That.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, but I was just talking about more or less like I just hate the idea that like Wade County is no longer Wade County. He should have been a Florida staple like until he died.
Yeah.
Like that's how I felt. Like what? Like it's Wade County. Like and then all of a sudden he moved just because you guys don't respect certain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're backwards down there.
Like laws. Like I feel like state laws shouldn't determine what goes on in your household and how certain things are. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? We might not. You might call yourself something that's great. We might not understand or even agree, but we still respect what you call yourself, and we're not gonna make an issue out of it. We're gonna move on.
And I'm pretty sure he probably didn't want to leave Florida, but I mean, you gotta protect your child.
And then, then you got. I mean, Florida don't care about people,
right?
Especially people they got in there now.
Man,
don't care about anybody.
Yeah, that whole state. That's a whole.
Yeah, hopefully it gets fixed. Remember Florida, man? Oh, you've never seen Atlanta? They say watch out for Florida man, because every situation you hear about something in Florida, Florida man gets ate by alligator. Florida man this. Florida man eats man's face.
It's always something in Florida.
It's like a Florida man.
It's always something in Florida. I just seen one video of a Florida man dangling meat in front of an alligator.
That they had the turkey?
I believe so.
It was like the chicken or something, and then the dude ate and he almost turned into mincemeat too.
Yeah.
The dude had to step in for him.
Florida man. Oh, Florida.
I don't want to say like I have nerves of steel, but I'm not gonna fall down like that after giving an alligator a turkey or chicken. I'm getting out of there.
I'm out of here.
Like, plus we just react better to certain situations than other cultures.
But congratulations to all the Hall of Famers on their induction. Good kudos to them. Other NBA news: Josh Hart, he's carving himself a really good NBA career. He's finalizing a 4-year, $81 million extension with the Knicks. And I feel like years ago, he was probably maybe like 10, 12 years ago. He's probably them guys. He'd give you 3-4 years. He'd give you a good run, and then for some reason you just don't hear from him again. And now I feel like with guys like him, who has a niche, he has a niche on every team he plays for, and there's a role for him every team he plays for.
He plays both ends of the floor. Mm-hmm. He changes the game. He comes in there and changes the tempo of the game.
Yeah.
He has no problem sacrificing plays for the betterment of the team. He's a selfless player, and you need guys like that in your team. You don't need a team full of guys that can just put in the bucket and they don't know rotations, don't know how to get back, can't talk on defense. You need guys to utilize every skill on the court. Yeah. And he's getting paid to do his job, and he's great. He's great at it. I like Josh Hart personally. And he's not a small guard either.
No, he's a big guard. And one of his best attributes is rebounding. He gets a lot of rebounds at the guard position. You get rebounds, they're gonna find a way to keep you on the court. And from the minutes I'm seeing here from the play, he got 33 minutes, 22, 38, 33, 43. These are all in the playoffs too. So that just, for you young players, you don't need to score the ball. You do other stuff. And then he'll get his looks. He'll get like 5-6 shots. Sometimes that's all you need. So cool.
You know me. I played every role on a team growing up, so like I know, like you just do whatever keeps you out there.
Yeah.
You don't tell the coach what you feel you should be doing. You listen to what he asks of you, and you do that. And then if you're able to do more. Show him what you're worth.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, basically. So kudos to him on that. Other NBA news: James Harden and the Sixers. There's no trade that's gonna happen. He wanted a trade. They never traded him, so he's gonna be on the Sixers roster. I don't think he's gonna play because let me find this quote that he just put up today about
I'm a liar. And he won't be part of an organization like that. And honestly,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he said Daryl Morey is a liar and blah blah blah, and basically he don't want to play for him.
Number one, I actually kind of believe him, but based on his track record, it's tough.
Yeah.
Because he seems like he talks behind people's back all the time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. But two, I would have never got traded. I would have never went to Philly. They ain't won a chip since Dr. J. And they had one of the greatest guards all time. They never put anything around him.
Yeah.
Like, bro, he brought McKee, Mutombo, and Ratliff. I don't know if they were both on the team. They were both on the team at the time.
Might have been.
Like, Eric Snow. Who else was out there? Captain Ugly. I forgot his name. You know what I'm talking about, bro.
Aaron McKee.
Nah.
Tyrone Hill.
Tyrone Hill. Sorry, bro. As a kid, that's how we address you, bro. You can pop out Jones, man. Sorry, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Granted, they're pros, but
yeah.
The Sixers have never shown that they actually want to win a championship. Look at Embiid's teams. Like,
right.
you had Butler, who was a perfect match for Embiid.
And they didn't want to pay him.
That held the team to stand. Gone to the playoffs, was like great together, and didn't want to pay him. So like Harden, you knew kind of what you was. If you'd actually looked at the team and watched how they were ran the past few years, because you've been in the league for over 10 years now.
Yeah.
You should know this. Like, and like I'll be like, I just don't like the Philly team. I don't even like watching Philly play. It's something about the team. I just don't like it.
Yeah, they're gonna look back and that's like one of the biggest mistakes ever as a franchise. You chose Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. That's just like everybody should be fired. Everybody should be fired.
And Tobias is good. He's just not Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy plays both ends, and in the playoff time, he's a different player than regular season.
And you'd have two big dogs. You got the big dog in Embiid, and then you got Butler, and it's like those two actually would hold. They actually don't mind yelling at each other during the game because they know what they'll bring.
If Philly had Butler during the playoff series, they would have turned themselves to the Boston Massacre, as you see the red highlight today.
If they kept Butler at 2021, I don't even think the Bucks won. Or was it 2020? Yeah, 2021. I don't think the Bucks won that chip. They probably would have won that chip if they kept Butler. But hey, oh well, sucks for them.
Better for themselves.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Harden. Let's see if he suits up for them this season or he holds out until they trade him.
You think he'll hold out a whole season?
If he goes,
I mean, to be honest, I like that. Players are at the point where they made enough money where it's like, nah, bro, you ain't gonna be
Yeah.
I'm not your puppet. I'll retire. I'm waiting for one of those to happen. I'm waiting for guys I'll retire. Threaten them. I guarantee you threaten them with that, they might reconsider some things.
Yeah, definitely. He might. Yeah.
He made enough money and he played long enough to be real. He got the pension time. Yeah. So it's like,
and they still gotta pay him too.
Yeah.
If he don't show, and
I kind of like these guys just doing what they want personally, because for years you had guys asking for trades, trying to get out of bad situations, and they were kind of like held hostage.
Yeah.
So no, I get it. The most people from the outside looking in are looking at Harden like, well, you're a baby doing this, doing that, but nah, like at some point the organization has to be held to a certain standard as well.
Yeah, get him up out of here. All right, and lastly, Team USA, the FIBA is happening. They've had a couple friendlies. They've been playing really well. They look good as a unit together, even though I still have questions about this team when actual play starts. But right now in these friendlies, they're playing really well together. They're not being selfish. They're just playing good basketball overall as a team. So, do I think they're gonna win gold? We'll wait and see. But they've shown they got a really good chance at it the way they've been shooting the ball.
I mean, they have some players out there.
Yeah.
They don't have the top echelon that most people want, but they have some young developing stars on that team. So. I'll be honest, I don't know, because I don't know who they're going to come against, you know what I mean, the other teams and what all-stars and pros they have. But as a whole team, they're solid. Yeah. They're solid. I think this might be one of the less is more type deal. Like, you don't need all the high-profile guys, because these guys can put it up, and these guys specialize in certain things as well. Yeah. And Jaren Jackson's way bigger than I thought, pause. Like, in the paint, like, punching everything, like, you know, granted, in the league, you don't look as tall, but, like, out there, like.
And he still led the lead in blocks. The league in blocks, I meant to say. He's good. And what I always say when players play in the FIBA, you look for them to fall when the NBA season starts. Just look at their numbers and compare it to like the last year, because their numbers and their production always, after they participate in this, they always go to the next level. So we'll see what happens. And they're saying Anthony Edwards is the one he's been the player that stood out in these exhibitions. So he might be the guy they go to down the stretch in these games during the FIBA World Cup or whatever they call it. So yeah, whenever they starts, we'll keep y'all updated on that. I can't even talk right now, but whatever. All right, fantasy football. Drafts are coming up. New season about to start. So we are going to No Huddle with Craig. He's going to tell y'all, he's going to give y'all some advice on drafting players, who to draft, who not to draft, when to draft players in the fantasy No Huddle. So if you are an avid fantasy football player, you should watch. Check this out and we'll be back.
What up, everybody? Welcome to No Huddle here on After the Whistle. It's your boy Craig, and we're back. Football's here, and I got some fantasy advice for you. You know, you got your drafts coming up, and you're probably thinking, what strategy should you use? What players should you attack? I'm here to help you with that in 5 minutes. So let's start off with draft strategies. The first draft strategy that I would suggest is my personal favorite is the running back hero. So what you want to do is in the first or second round, you want to get yourself a top 10 running back. And then once you've secured your top 10 running back, you want to attack wide receivers. I generally say by the time you get out of the 5th and 6th round, you should have at least three wide receivers and one running back. You can go tight end or an additional running back, but you definitely want to get your 3 wide receivers in the first 4 rounds. Next, you have the 0 running back strategy, where you're drafting your 3 wide receivers right away, and then possibly going for a late round running back, securing some number 2s or some lower quality running backs, but stacking up on your wide receivers, because wide receivers outscore running backs by about 56%. Then I have the complete your lineup strategy, where in the first 4 rounds you're acquiring a top tier running back, top tier wide receiver, the best available quarterback, and tight end. In any particular order, if you draft Travis Kelce in the first round, second round you probably want to go wide receiver, running back, and then end the round with a high level quarterback like Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. Players I really like this year. So if you're going for running backs, first round draft pick, I really love Bijan. I think he's going to end the season winning the rushing title. Austin Eckler is one of the best in the business. I'm really feeling for a sleeper running back, guys like Cam Akers and Joe Burrow. When you're drafting wide receivers, I'm telling you right now, second-year wide receivers are hot commodities. Garrett Wilson is one of my favorites. Chris Olave, Jahan Dotson, Christian Watson. I think even with the lower talent level of Jordan Love, I think he's still going to have a fairly decent year. So I would definitely add him to my roster. One of my big favorite wide receivers is Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he might be one of the best wide receivers of the year. And then tight ends. I'm not a big fan of jumping early on tight ends. You know, if you're I'm not even a fan of getting Travis Kelce in the first round. I do like T.J. Hawkinson in the fourth, but I prefer guys like David Njoku and Evan Ingram, guys you can get in the 7th and 8th round. Also, back to wide receivers. One of my favorite wide receivers to grab this year is Calvin Ridley. When it comes to defenses and kickers, I cannot be more adamant about this. Their last round picks, like wasting a value pick on a kicker and a defense, to me is probably the biggest mistake you can make. I usually grab my two, depending on how many roster slots I have, I'm either grabbing my defense in the second to last and kicker in the last, or two defenses and a kicker in the last 3 rounds. There's no reason to jump high on defenses, because sometimes even the defense that was the best last year that you're going to end up drafting first ends up not performing in the way that they did the season before. So I would avoid wasting high-value draft picks on guys like that. And then finally, always draft for value. You know, don't chase a position thinking you'll lose it because people are on a run drafting a lot of tight ends or a lot of quarterbacks. Always draft for value. You might, cause when you draft per position on runs, sometimes you get a lower value pick when a higher value player is available at that pick. So make sure you're always drafting for value, and that will help you win your fantasy league. And I'll be here week after week with more advice. Until next week, see you on after the whistle. Back to you.
And we are back. Next up, we got Athletes Corner, and we got Xavier Abreu here talking about playing his sophomore year and what to look for his junior year. Also talking about AAU and all that other good stuff. Check this out, and then we're going to come back with some boxing update. Hello and welcome to another edition of Athletes Corner. We got another special guest, Xavier Abreu. How you doing, my guy?
I'm good. How are you?
You know, chilling, man. Summer's been wild for you. I take it, man.
Yeah.
How's it been with all this basketball you've been doing with traveling, AAU, and all this other stuff, man?
I'm just having fun with it, you know. Enjoying the experiences. Just keep trying to get better.
Yeah. How's talk about the AAU circuit and just play? It's Boston Rivals.
Mass Rivals.
Mass Rivals. I always call it Boston Rivals for some reason. Yeah, Mass Rivals. How many years have you been playing with them?
I just started this season actually. It's fun. It's a good program. Everybody's kind of like close there. It's definitely competitive on the Adidas circuit. You see a lot of the big names you kind of see on Instagram and things like that. It's good to go up against competition like that and see where you match up against.
Yeah, how was it? Because you guys were in South Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Correct. That was like the finals.
That was the finals.
Yeah. How was just that whole tournament down there, and also just getting a chance to go down to South Carolina?
It was cool, cause growing up, I saw a lot of I seen Zion Williamson, he played with on the Adidas circuit, and I seen him in Rock Hill, so it was cool to be there and seeing it on camera when I was younger, and then to be there, it was cool. And then so we started off strong. We went 2-2. We went 2-0 to start.
Yeah.
And then we kind of fell off after that. We lost the game, our third game. So we went into consolation play kind of early, but it was definitely a good experience.
Yeah, definitely, and also just being out of state, playing against players from all over the country. How did that, what did you kind of learn about your game, different from playing with your high school team and playing with these guys and playing in the AAU circuit? What was like was there anything different that you normally do in the AAU circuit that you don't get the opportunity to do in high school just because, high school has a system and all that?
I would say it's a lot more physical. Like, it's really physical, and like there's no easy baskets at all. Like, people don't really give up on the circuit. So,
Yeah. And seeing other players, ranked players in the country, were you just like noticing like some of the stuff they do, or were you just taking notes just to how hard they play, or just were you just watching and see, okay, this is why this guy's ranked this or that?
I definitely like paid attention when I watched big names like that, and you could tell why those guys are like ranked the way they're ranked, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah. For you, your name's been coming up a lot, especially this past. Your name's been coming up a lot. What have you done for your game as opposed, what are the improvements from your freshman year and your sophomore year? From improvements after your freshman year and then your sophomore year.
I kind of just try to stay consistent and keep working. I think one thing that's really improved was like my athleticism. Like, I'm getting a lot more like bounce, being able to jump higher, and my shot's been a lot more consistent. Pull up, that's really. And then my handle is still improving, but it has got better.
Yeah. How was it playing at Phillips Andover? I mean, your transition, middle school there, just playing there, and being at a boarding school, living on campus and all that. Just the entire transition for you from going into middle school and then going over there, staying there full time.
It was definitely a transition, like living away from home and kind of just like adjusting. I didn't know anybody when I first went there, but I made friends fairly quickly, and you'll definitely find your people, and I did, and it was like I would say I have it easier than a lot of kids that go there, because obviously Lynn's only about like 40 minutes away, so I can really see my family whenever I want. Like, they could come up see me, I could come home, so it was like I'm at a boarding school, but I'm still kind of home.
Yeah. And as far as like on the court wise, how did your coach how did you get the confidence of your coaches, to put you in position and actually get minutes and all that? How did that work out?
That was a struggle, actually. My freshman year, I started off on varsity, and then I went down to JV just to like get more reps. Like, I wasn't playing on varsity freshman year, and then this last season I was definitely getting more minutes. So not a lot, but I had a role on the team.
Yeah.
And then this season, I'm looking forward to kind of getting a bigger role coming to my junior season. Coming in as a freshman in the NEPSAC, it was definitely the speed. The speed definitely was there. Like, it was a lot quicker than anything I've played in before. And the beginning of my sophomore season, I definitely felt that more, obviously having more minutes. Yeah. So it took me a little bit to settle in, but once I did, it was really fun.
I feel like that's everybody's first thing. Whenever they're transitioning from somewhere playing ball, it's always the first thing they say is the speed. The speed of the game. It's kind of like you think you're fast, but then these guys are going like at a little quicker pace than you are.
Faster, stronger. They just seems like everybody could jump high, things like that.
Yeah, and you guys were able. I mean, you guys traveled a lot at Phillips, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's just the experience of traveling? You travel with AAU, traveling with your high school team, and going to see like other schools in different regions and stuff.
Yeah. We stay in Mass. We do stay in Mass, but we travel. Like, the farthest game we had was probably like 2 hours away.
Yeah, okay.
But it's definitely cool to see like other campuses, other facilities, things like that.
Yeah. Now when you get to the game, is it just like when you first started getting increased minutes? Did you have little nerves at first, or was it just the nerves went away just after you just got a feel for the game?
There was definitely nerves because I felt like I was still trying to prove myself, kind of. But yeah, I mean, I get nerves before most of my games. Yeah. But once I step on the court, I'm fine. Yeah. And then, yeah.
What was the What was one thing that you really were focused on working in this summer that's going to help you when hoop season comes during the school year?
I've been working on my shot a lot, trying to like really make it consistent, like to where every time I shoot it, like it's supposed to go in, kind of. And then also I work on my handle too, because I think that's a big part of my game that can improve.
Okay, and you also, like I said, you're playing a lot of basketball this summer. Also, you're participating in Props to Pop Summer League P2P. You set the record, 55 points.
Yeah.
Of course, it happened when I'm not there, but that's a story for another day. What kind of zone were you in that game? Because it was a pretty tight game too, right?
Yeah, it was. Honestly, I didn't even realize I had that many points. It was like nearing the end of the game, so it was like, yo, you have 46 points, like you could break the record. I was like, oh, I didn't even realize. I was kind of just playing, going in with the game, and then it kind of just happened. Like my shot was hitting, and yeah.
And also, it felt good that you were able to get the game winner as well.
Yeah.
To score that much and get the win.
Just to top it off, yeah.
Yeah, man. Before we get out of here, I mean, everybody, your dad coaches. He also played at UNH, played in DR and all that. What kind of like tips or advices has he given you as you're going through your basketball journey?
He's really like the number one person I go to ask advice, because like he's been through it. Like, everything I'm doing, he'll tell me like it's crazy, because like our journeys, like they're seeming the same kind of to him. Like it's like he's having deja vu seeing it with me. So he's kind of like the perfect person to ask. Like he since I was younger, he put the ball in my hands. So like he definitely helps me with everything. Like that's the main person I work out with, and yeah, he's definitely guiding me along the way.
He thinks is he still claiming he's the better shooter?
Yeah, he's still claiming that. He's still claiming that.
Is that true? Or you think he surpassed him already?
We're close. We're close. The 1v1s have been going my way, though.
Yeah.
I will say that. He might have the shot, but the 1v1s are going my way.
When was the last time he beat you?
Beginning of the summer, he beat me,
Okay.
but I've been beating him.
So it's you got the up on him on that one.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Man, time is running out. But before we get out of here, quickly plug in your social media if they want to follow you, and if you got other social media platforms you want to follow.
My Instagram's at Xavier Abreu _, and yeah, that's about it.
All right, man. Are you let it fly playing?
I'm not sure yet.
Not sure yet.
Shoe City though.
Shoe City. Shoe City. By the time this airs, Shoe City will happen. But
yeah.
What team you running with at Shoe City?
I'm running with. I don't know the name of the team, but I know the coach is Brian Diaz.
Okay, gotcha. All righty. All right, make sure, check him out. My man, appreciate it. We're out of here. All right, and we are back. Okay, time for some boxing update. As Pedro informed me, Anthony Joshua had a fight over the weekend, knocked somebody out. Can you elaborate more? I mean, it ain't that important.
I mean, he faced Robert Helenius. It wasn't supposed to be that fight. He was a late replacement.
It looked like that dude boxes part-time, the dude that got knocked out. It looked like boxing is his part-time job, and he got like a different job.
Set up for Anthony Joshua. Remember, he lost 2 fights in a row
No.
against Usyk, so that was good.
Yeah, it's about time he won something. Now he need to fight somebody that's worth something.
He might lose again. I'm just saying, bro. Like, he don't really beat the people he's supposed to beat. Like, I mean, he don't beat the top guys.
Yeah.
He beat everybody else. So, like,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm not entertained.
And we still upset about that Wilder fight not happening.
It don't need to happen. I mean, it could happen now, but
it lost whatever luster it had.
has none now.
Yeah.
But people still watch it though, just because they just want to see who'd win out of it. But
Yeah, definitely. What else we got, Pedro?
We got this. Here we go. Canelo versus Charlo.
September 30th.
That's right.
Yeah, this is.
Undisputed.
Yeah, and they're fighting at 168 too, and I feel like Canelo. This is like right in Canelo's ballpark. well, not ballpark. This is right his field and stuff. So because Charlo's moving up, right? So,
so.
Yeah, I think Canelo probably. Charlo has confidence, but I think Canelo probably has even more confidence because he's been fighting at that weight for the longest.
Canelo's Canelo. Charlo got to show why he's moving up. I like them both, but Canelo's Canelo.
Yeah.
Only person I see put him down was Mayweather.
I just like the fact they fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that he did, because he went up. What Charlo go up from 154 to 168?
Off the top of my head, I don't know, bro.
Yes, moving up in weight 14 pounds.
Yeah, that's a big jump too. That is a really big jump in weight. But
That's his first pay-per-view fight for Charlo.
oh, okay. I mean, he has enough confidence. That dude does not lack confidence. I'll say that.
I mean, as you should. You need to be a little delusional when you're trying to be great.
Yeah. And any other fights besides that upcoming?
That's it for now. We'll catch up next week.
All right, and that is our boxing.
I'll tell you something sorry I watched last weekend. What was it, or 2 weekends ago? It was that Jake Paul, Nate Diaz.
Yeah. I didn't want to. I remember Nate Diaz against Jake Paul.
If Nate Diaz actually knew how to box like a boxer, that wouldn't have been a fight.
Yeah.
But Nate, he's not used to the bigger gloves. Where he was hitting them, wasn't really getting them until towards the end of the fight.
Yeah.
When he was putting some, putting some hits on Jake, and then Jake was holding. But Jake was fighting like a boxer. Jake's been training like a boxer, so it's like, why don't you just fight a legit fighter? Like, stop fighting all these UFC guys who you know don't really have hands in the boxing ring. Like, cut it out. But I heard he's gonna rematch him in MMA. I don't think that's a good idea at all.
Yeah, he got to keep his brand and this thing going, because
But at some time, people should be able to see through this. This is watered down.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is bad.
Yeah.
Like, if you would have saw how he was hitting Jake, because he was uncomfortable with, like, Matty hit me with them gloves like that.
Yeah.
If you watch some of the stuff on YouTube, you're gonna be like, wow, like, for real, like, so.
Yeah, I think like real like fighting fans know like this is this is money grabs and this is just a farce and all that.
I feel like he's gonna try to keep doing this until he actually learns how to be a real boxer, and he's gonna try to go into that realm. You know what I mean, with all these fights, and it's like, bro, just go fight some real boxers, man, and just pay your dues.
Or just label this celebrity boxing.
Do something.
Don't like all this extra stuff he does. Like just call it what it is. It's a celebrity boxing. It's celebrity boxing.
You're not even calling guys who are current fighters that are like fresh, that are your age. You're calling guys that are retired, that are way over the hill.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. Like.
Meanwhile, they're making a lot of money.
I mean, that's an obvious. We live in a world where some of the most talentless things get paid more than actual real talent.
Yeah. Very true.
Why? Because most people have no talent. So those people are the ones that want to champion no different than UFC. UFC makes everybody feel they can get in there. Because most people can't box.
Yeah.
They don't have the discipline to box. So it's like, UFC, I can kick you, I can jump on you, I can do all that. Yeah, because it takes less skill.
Yeah, I don't want to be in a UFC ring.
Like, let's be real. And no different than ballet and strippers. Ballet's an acquired taste. Everybody loves strippers.
Oh my God.
We already went over that. I'm glad I was able to bring it back.
On that note, Red Sox. Red Sox still fighting for that wild card position. They beat the Detroit. Oh my gosh, they beat the Detroit Tigers 6-3. They took 2 out of 3 against them to move themselves to 62 and 56. They are still in 4th place in the AL East. They're 11 games back of Baltimore, who's in 1st place at 73 and 45. Tampa Bay 71 and 49, and then Toronto 66 and 54. Meanwhile, the Yankees are looking up at everybody because they're dead last.
Where we at again?
We are 62 and 56.
I dazed off. Are we in the wild card? Or are we still outside?
Outside looking in still, but they gotta put together a strong August and September to get that wild card spot. So
right,
they gotta finish off this season strong.
If we don't make the playoffs, Just as long as we're on the same island as the Yankees. In the off season.
Yeah, shoot, the Yankees, they pay them dudes all that money and they are, woo, that is embarrassing. You got all them guys getting all that money. Oh well, sucks to be them. High school basketball. Did you see this Cooper Flag? He reclassed to the class of 24. I feel like I've seen that a lot more lately. Kids reclassing and leaving early, or
I mean, who wants to? Like, I mean, he ain't trying to sit in high school for an extra year. If he don't have to, why would you?
he should have went to overtime or something.
Like he's like, that would have been good.
Yeah, because you still have eligibility for college.
But he's at Mount Verde. That's better than overtime.
Yeah, he's still getting paid though.
I mean, I get that, but like he's about to go to Duke or something anyways, bro. Like he just ain't trying to. You're number one player in the country. You're killing everybody. You don't want to be number one. Like you're not trying to be another year. If you don't have to be, why bother?
He got Duke written all over him.
Yeah. So like, I just mean Mount Verde as in like they were a well-oiled machine compared to overtime still figuring it out. Granted, they had the twins, Thompson twins get drafted out there, but that's like
they've had a few guys. They've had a few guys that got drafted. Just the cool thing about overtime is you can still keep your eligibility for college if you do it.
Who's really gonna want to go back to college after getting paid to play basketball? I get it. You get the NIL, get the NIL deal, whatever you call that stuff, but it's like, bro.
Hey, man. Some do it, some don't. Yeah, for him, he don't need to do all that. He's like a projected top 10 pick already whenever he enters the draft. So.
His brother's good too.
Oh, he got another one?
He got a twin.
Oh, really?
He's just not him, but his brother's nice though.
Damn.
They both play on Maine. The main team. So if you seen the guy with the little weird dude, I be wanting to ask white people, what do y'all ask for when you go to the barbershop?
To the side?
To the side, little fade, fin up. Like, what do y'all ask for? Bangs? Like, I don't know. We ask for a blowout, fade, line up. Like, we ask for simple stuff. Like, I just be wondering because his brother got one of them haircuts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
Oh, man. Sucks to be his brother. You nice yourself, but you got you got a damn phenom in your household that overshadows everything.
I mean, was that kind of like Horace and Javi Grant? There's always one twin that's just, except for the Morris twins, I feel like they were kind of even.
Yeah.
But like, for the most part, there's always one twin that just a little better.
And the Lopez twins.
One was straight defense, one was straight offense.
Yeah, and they both were comic book nerds.
One straight caveman, one's business. Yeah. They're like the same person, but two people.
Yeah.
One's like in the office, one as soon as he clocks out.
Yeah. I think Robin strikes me as the one that's, if you go out, you'd have more fun with him.
That's the one with the hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He look like he be chugging beers left and right.
He's like that Cookie Crisp monster. Cookie Crisp, what was it? Was it that? Yeah. No, it was the Honeycombs.
Hold on.
I think it was Honeycombs, dog.
The Honeycomb monster?
Yeah, the Honeycomb monster. Dude, the wild look.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Oh man. But cool. We'll see where he goes. Where he goes for. There it is.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Well, it's interesting to see where Cooper chooses to go for college. Cause it's probably gonna be Duke.
He said he's been dreaming about Duke, and then him and Kyle.
Oh, Filipowski.
Yeah, that'd be a good little combo.
Yeah, that would.
Even though Kyle and Lively didn't really work, even though you thought they would have worked.
Yeah. And Kyle might not be there when he gets there.
Yeah, but Cooper Flag different.
Yeah.
He different. He do a little bit of everything.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some highlights. All right, P2P Summer League playoffs kicked off. It's playoff week. Let's check out games that happened on this Monday. We'll be back. We are back. All right, lights out, Gym Summer League. It's almost coming down to the finals. I believe the Final Four is Thursday, and the championship game is also Thursday. But we got some teams that are trying to punch their ticket to the Final Four.
I hate that. 2 games in one night. Just make the championship game Friday. Or do it early in the day, late in the evening. That back-to-back stuff is whack, man.
Yeah. We are back, and last but not least, we were at Let It Fly over the weekend at Chelsea High, 8th annual event. Another good show out. A lot of people came out for this one, so check out the highlights, and then we're going to be back and wrap this thing up. They go, Jason. Hey! 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 All right, and we are back. All right, we was gonna do top 10, but never mind. We ain't gonna do the top 10. We'll save that when the season starts. But man, we could. Everybody that checked out Let It Fly, shout out to all them. To Caesar and all and Kyle putting that together. Everybody that showed out. It was a good time. It was a good time. Got out of there by like 6, 7, I think. And it was a long day.
Yeah, they just got a 30 pieces. Call it.
Oh yeah.
If it's a 30 piece with 10 minutes left in the game, just call it, man.
Call it.
Because Yeah, you know, injuries could happen. You got these kids quitting. So, and yeah, just call it. Just keep everything going. Keep it going.
Yeah, agreed on that. But overall, we had a good time out there. Go to YouTube. You can watch all the games if you weren't there. Well, I'm debating about putting that middle school game up because that one was the middle school championship game, or the one that was hard to watch.
I was really watching it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Y'all
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was zoned out. All right. Follow LCTV After the Whistle on Instagram. Make sure, check out. We got stuff going up there. Mukala K. I'm still calling it Twitter. I'm not calling it X. It's Twitter. The
X.
Yeah, it's X now. It's still Twitter to me, but yeah.
X. It's called X.
Just X. I don't know. Mr. Burton 23 on Instagram. Make sure you check him out. Oh, high school fall sports officially kicks off on Friday. So make sure y'all got all y'all physicals and everything in order so y'all can participate in whatever sport you're playing this fall. So fall sports officially kicks off this Friday for all the high school students. All right. And shout out to everybody that's moving into college. All the kids that's moving in. I know some of the student athletes already moved in because they got to be there early anyway. So everybody that's moving to college, living on campus, participating in sports and all that, enjoy those 4 years that you got there.
Make your first night a great one.
On that note, we're out of here. We'll see y'all when we see y'all. Have a good one.